Hello and welcome to another beer with Wraggy. So tonight's beer with Wraggy is a mental health check-in. I'm sure there are plenty of ladies and gentlemen across the UK, across the world even, that are suffering with bad mental health at the moment. We can only look at the crisis going off in money. You know, we've all got a lot less money to spend. The social media, the world, what with wars in Ukraine and Russia, what's happening in Israel, the Red Sea, and just the balmy, bloody world we live in at the moment. And then for everyone, even if you shelter yourself away from all that, there's the normal day-to-day life. The earning enough money to put on the table. Be it whether you're working, whether you're on in a pension or whether you claim benefits, the stress of all that is massive. And 4 years ago, at this moment, 4 years ago, I was in the darkest place of my life. Lonely, alone, doing beer reviews. This was my sanctuary. I was drinking a lot more than what I drink today. A lot more. Just to survive. Didn't tell the family what was going off, not all of it. Because you're the big man, aren't you? You don't tell everyone everything. You suck it up, and I got told that. In a situation where you're in a work environment with somebody who is an absolute psychopath, with his own mental health issues, clearly, but with the ability to cause harm to you, your family, via his own or other people. In a workplace where the management were oblivious and weak, where no one would stand up against this person. And as somebody at that time, 48-year-old, in an environment where you're frightened for your life, basically, bullied, frightened for your life, and called a lazy bastard to your face, lazy bastard, aggressively as well, not just in a friendly sense, but a massively aggressive sense. I contemplated suicide. I did. I was at that point. There was a moment, and there was a review where I did a wine review, and at that moment I was at the darkest moment ever. And I've got a great family, mind you. I've got a lovely wife, 3 children, 2 grandkids, although 1 grandkid at the time. And even to contemplate that, life's tough. Life is incredibly tough at times. But to contemplate that, it was the deepest, darkest road ever. Drinking myself into oblivion. I would come home and drink a pint of whiskey, no problem. Literally anything I could do to get to sleep, and just the sleep, coming home to the family, the sleep was my only peaceful moment till I woke up, and then it all came back, rushing back. And luckily 4 years later, in a fantastic job. Nothing's perfect in life, nothing is. We had a tough year last year. Fucking cars. Got an idiot who, in Chilwell, can't remember the black twat's name, took our BMW, fucked it up royally, got away with it. What can you do? What can you do these days? Unless you've got money to go after these people and fucking sue them into the ground, what can you do? Nothing. Facebook, absolute waste of time. I put something on his page. Other people have complained. Let's hope he don't get away with it anymore. Let's hope he's out of business, because he's a fucking dangerous mechanic. Absolute disgrace to the trade of mechanics. I should have put more on social media. Even when my channel was more popular than it is now, I should have gone to town and really, really put his fucking name out there for the public to see. Should have done it. Shouldn't have messed about. Should have done it. What could he do? Come after me legally? I would have loved that. And then last year we got wedding vows, and then we had more issues with cars. I had to scrap my Skoda because of the shitty roads at my workplace. The Nissan Qashqai, we bought that had massive issues. Luckily 6 months on since the last issue, it's been pretty good, so you know, touch wood. And apart from the fact that life seems to be very tough financially, we're all right, you know, in a lot of ways. But you know, we all have. Let me just have a drink. I've just had 2 cytosine hydrochloride, which are hay fever tablets. There is no hay fever this time of the year, but I suffer with prickly heat, so I itch like an absolute twat. Looks like I've got fleas. And so I just took 2 of them, and now I need a drink. My St. Peter's Port Plum Porter. It's 9%, but don't tell anyone. I need to do a review of that before I drink it all. And I'm supposed to save some for the holiday in March. Can't see it happening at the moment, to be fair. It tastes too nice. It really does. But yeah. So yeah. Mental health, you know, to everyone out there suffering with mental health, please, please talk to somebody. Talk to a friend, a good friend. There's always somebody who'll listen to you. Be it Citizens Advice, you know, Samaritans, anything like that, you know, or a friend who's there, who you know is decent. Stress, anxiety, depression, all come under the mental health barrier. And you know, if you're in a job where things are dangerous, scary, please talk to somebody. Get a different point of view. We all need that second point of view, because sometimes our brains become muddled and we don't think straight, and we're scared to do anything. And it only takes a friend, a legitimate friend, to raise a concern. Maybe not through that person, but say you're in a company and something's happening which is inappropriate and wrong. Now, if somebody close to me was being hounded by somebody and they didn't tell me about it, and this person was shall we call, a sexual predator, and this little twat got in my car one night. Now, and I am only 5'7". I am, there's nothing to me, but I would have ripped his fucking head off had I known the situation. And sometimes to talk to people, obviously that's probably slightly different, but to talk to people, to talk to somebody, a neutral, and if that neutral was to even to do it through backward channels, to there's always a way to help people. I'm no expert, obviously. There are people out there who are experts, who are better at the advice they give out. But like with mental health, you know, even even now, I have very good days. I have bad days. Bad days where I don't want to talk to anybody, where the world hates me and I hate the world, and my only salvation is to come home with the family, you know, and hope they're having a good day, because that rubs off. To come down to the shed to do a beer review, and life is tough, and incredibly tough when you're looking at the bill side of things and money. You know, it's the biggest evil in the world, money. What causes all the wars in the world? Money and religion. Yeah, greed. We all know this. Power. We need to look at what's happening in Russia. Killing the closest person who could take out the leader of Russia. And again, it's all greed and power. And money. You know, all these things, you know, those with money don't like to pay out, you know, and there's obviously, there is good people in the world, don't get me wrong, but the majority are not so good. And this bear of Wraggy, you know, this time 4 years ago, I was in a dark place. I just had to think there, look at and think about the days, and I realised that I'm in my 4th winter at my new job, which isn't a new job now, obviously. But this time 4 years ago, I was in COVID times, obviously, over at Nottingham Park Estate. Park Estate itself was not a bad estate. The chap who was the manager wanted the work done and was a bit of a stickler. He didn't manage it right, but I get where he was coming from. You know, having dealt with contractors and that, and the better thing to do was to actually have people who work for them on the site. But hey ho, you know, they could have still had me there as a gardener, and I would have transformed that site. I told them what I could do. I told them to get polytunnels to me to grow the plants, basically so they get free plants, and I could have, my job, I could easily transform it. Sadly, never happened, got lied to. Half the time I'm helping the other ones out because they're inept and lazy at their jobs. And obviously one was a psychopath anyway, so yeah, that one's so good. And it's sad really, you know, it was a good place. But thankfully, you know, 4 years on, I've transformed 2 workplaces. Where they were from then to where they are now, massively different. You know, to the untrained eye, they don't look no different. You know, they'll notice bits and bobs. But to anybody who knows, they know. The boss, the owner, he knows 100% what's changed. You know, he's not daft, very clever bloke. But yeah, mental health, it is such a struggle. Good days, bad days. My advice, talk to people. Beer is good. Whatever gives you some respite is good. However, too much is a bad thing for obvious reasons. For your health, for your bank balance, for your family. If you can't handle your booze and verbal or physical violence comes from that, then you should not be drinking at all. You should be going to the hospital. You should be getting the help you seriously need, because As a person, I'll say something out of place. I've never been violent in my life, never will be. You know, that's just not the person I am. If someone's violent to my family and I was pushed into a corner, then it's a very serious situation you're going to be facing yourself. But it's not me. You know, I walk away from that sort of thing. But yeah, to those people who have mental health issues and they lash out in that way, then you need to sort yourself out. You need to walk away from what you're doing and clear yourself before you even contemplate going near your family and children, because you are a risk to them and yourself. And no, it's not a good place to be. And drinking, if you can't handle drink or drugs, you know, some people do drugs and they're very good for it. You know, I've never done a drug in my life, so I wouldn't know. But some people do, and it's the greatest thing for them, and they're totally normal with it, and they're not violent or anything like that. And like I say, you know, everyone does what they do to get where they get. Some people do gambling, and again, I won't do gambling because, one, dangerous path, lose all your money, you know, and then other things happen. If I can give you a story about myself. So yeah, 4 years ago, in the darkest place. People across the internet who followed the channel back then will know that. It was supremely dark. And the funny thing is, I had people reaching out to me on YouTube, not really on Facebook or anything. I didn't really do a lot of Facebook back in them days, but on YouTube, reaching out to me. And I didn't even see the comments because I didn't even realise there was comments. To be fair, this bell came up, and only certain times would it ever flag up a bloody comment, and I replied to those ones, but I didn't know about all the others. You know, it spawned a lot of friendships, you know, over the years, and some of those people are going through their own mental health crisis. If you've never had any mental health issues, then you're a very lucky person. I've had bad mental health now since my grandma died. Was it 18 years ago? You know, not even knowing what mental health was then. And the funny thing was, as a child, my mum used to say stuff about depression and anxiety and panic attacks. Never really understood it. Well, you don't, because you think it's invisible. But what the hell am I seeing? And I still, to this moment, don't know if she was putting it on a bit or whether it was all legit. I don't know. You know, I'd feel guilty to myself if it was legit. And like I say, what goes off in your brain is fucking complex, more complex than anything I could ever imagine to tell people, and I think more complex than any doctor can tell you. You know, every single brain is very different. Whatever we go through in life is extremely different. Surrounding yourself with good people. I mean, for me, at this moment in time, I've stepped away from getting involved in other people's battles. Not interested. Like at work, there's been moments at work when I've seen things, lazy workers and stuff like that, bad people, and I've stepped away from it and think to myself, there's a manager in charge and the owner in charge. If they can't see it, then me flagging it up is going to do nothing apart from put a marker on my head for someone to have a dig or go for me. This happened on Nottingham City Council because of bad people and frauds, and yeah, never again am I going to put myself in that situation. And I've just thought, no, not worth it. You know, I'll do my thing. I'll work to the best of my ability at all times and do it that way. But surround yourself with good people. I haven't got many friends. So online, and now and again when we meet up, some great friends, some great online friends, some great friends, mainly through brewery and the beer world. It's really weird that the majority of my friends come from the world of beer reviews, and it's this beer review hobby that has brought me, and I get people coming up to me, and as much as sometimes I think like walking away from it and thinking, do you know something, for the money I spend and all that, but no, I get people coming, we have a chat, we have a laugh. You met somebody you've never met in your life, you're chatting, all of a sudden you're mates, and it is a fantastic world. And the breweries that I'm friends with, because of kind, positive reviews, not being an arse, there's a way of saying something without being a dickhead. And then also our friends we've got, the happy drinkers and Saturday drinkers. And again, there's a small circle of very close friends, and there's a small circle of family, and then there's the internet world, and a lot of people who will come up to you and say the kindest of things, you know. And in COVID, the darkest of moments for a lot of people out there, a lot of people came, and I've come ever since to this channel and says, your reviews, your lives have helped me through the darkest of places, predominantly males, but also females as well, funnily enough. So, yeah. And for this track up in 2024, I want people to know that there's always somebody out there that can help you. There's always a friend. Please, please, please do never think that it's an empty road in front of you. You know, there's always a friend. Like I say, beer's good. I don't mind a beer, obviously, as you know. Although it gets expensive these days, to be fair. But there you go. This isn't expensive because, yeah. But it's 9%. But talk to people. Open up. You know, there's always going to be an arsehole who's going to be a dickhead. Fuck them. Fuck them off. Fuck off all the arseholes. Be it family, be it old friends. Fuck a lot of them off. None of them give a... No one fucking matters apart from yourself and your very immediate family, be it a girlfriend, boyfriend, and your kids, and your grandkids possibly. And everybody else, no. In my opinion, at least, you know, from what I've gone through. I mean, luckily, my owner, the owner of my company, he knows the struggle I had initially. And a lot of friends do as well. And maybe not, I haven't told him everything, although online I probably have over the years. But yeah. Mental health, it's a dangerous road at times, but there is a way through it. I'm testament to that. 4 years ago, at this moment 4 years ago, couldn't see any path whatsoever. It was just going downhill at a tremendous rate, and things changed, things got better. The evil person got his comeuppance. What he's doing now, and if he's still alive, if he's changed his ways, hopefully for him, he has. Hopefully for him, he looks in the mirror and says, you know, I was a bit of a bad bastard then. You know, sometimes the ability to look at yourself, if you are that sort of person, you look at yourself, and this is something I do on a daily basis. I look at my own actions, the way I talk to people, the way I respond to people. And even if someone is a bad person, I've had it recently in a scenario, and I was sparting off about said persons or people, and do you know something? I come to the conclusion that it's not worth me bothering. Why even bring them into my life? I'll work and live my life. I'll do my thing. They can do their thing. If our paths cross a little bit, I'll be cordial, but I know what they are, and you know that's never going to change. But yeah, that side of things, it's like there's a nice curtain around it. Well, fuck you, and yeah. So please open up, you know, to all the ladies and gentlemen out there and children as well. Talk to people. You may talk to the wrong person. If they are arseholes, fuck them off and talk to somebody who's better. There always are options. Cheers all.